So after all of that, you're probably wondering if I now think this guitar is perfect. This is my freshly modded Abasi Concepts MA6 guitar. As a quick reminder, this is what it used to look like, and back to what it looks like now. I already did several reviews on this guitar, but today I want to tell you all about the mods and how it's finally reached its final form. The most important part is of course the pickups, so a big thank you to PRS for sending me out the 5708 set. They are exactly what this guitar needed. So I'll start by giving you a few quick clean tones, and then I'll walk you through the thought process behind the mods because there's more than just the pickups. Actually, let's start with some drive tones because spoiler alert, these pickups also rip. So the most intensive part of this mod was routing the body wood for humbucker pickups and routing a completely new pickguard. And this was all taken care of by Joseph McCoy over at McCoy Repair Services. So if you live in the same area as me, New York City, New Jersey area, definitely check him out. And on his channel, there's an entirely separate video just showing how he did the mod. So I'll link that below if you're interested. So if you watch the other reviews of this guitar that I made, you'll know that I pretty much love everything about it in terms of its ergonomics and its comfort overall. Now, the only issue that I had was with the original pickups. Originally, this guitar came with Fishman Fluence single coil pickups, and those are great pickups, but I just don't love single coils personally. And for a few months, I was actually doing okay with the pickups, you know. With the pickups, you know, I didn't prefer them, but they weren't making me upset, so to speak. But then something interesting happened. When PRS sent me out the hollow body Piezo 2 along with the other PRS guitars, I couldn't help but notice that the pickups in just this SC guitar sounded absolutely amazing. So I'd start my practice session working on some jazz and some blues stuff, and I'd play this guitar and it sounded extremely good. And then I'd go to pick up the IMI guitar to play some other stuff, and I kept being frustrated by the sound of the pickups. The thing that I was craving the most, that I cared about the most, was the neck pickup sound. I spend a lot of time on the neck pickup doing jazzy stuff, bluesy stuff, and even when I do faster legato things, I just really love using a warm, wide, round neck pickup. And I wasn't getting that out of the original IMI single coil neck pickup. And although this guitar has a pickguard, and it always had a pickguard, originally it was only routed for the 3 single coil widths. Which means that if you'd want a humbucker, it would be a big job because you'd have to route the wood of the guitar. And when you have a $4,000 guitar, the idea of routing the wood is just kind of scary, even if you go to a professional person to get it done. So the first thing I tried was just having some single coil with humbucker pickups installed, and I went with the Everything X by Seymour Duncan. And those pickups sound amazing, but they still retain a lot of that single coil character, which is the thing that I was trying to get rid of. And so once I tried those pickups and I couldn't get that full humbucker tone, I basically decided that we were going to have to route out this guitar. And since it was the PRS guitar that originally made me crave humbucker pickups again, it made sense for me to go and try some PRS humbucker pickups. PRS sells a few different types of pickups, everything from that more vintage sound to even high gain modern stuff. The 5708 are designed to give you that classic 1957 humbucker tone, and Paul Reed Smith produced these for the first time in 08, hence 5708. So although I did change both pickups, the thing that I was most concerned about was the neck pickup tone. It just so happened that the bridge pickup sounds amazing with the type of drive that I like, so I guess I lucked out in that regard. Now, in addition to the pickups, I also kind of wanted to change the whole layout of the guitar. So originally this guitar had a 5-way blade switch up here, and then we had a single volume knob and a single tone knob. Now, since I primarily use just a neck humbucker or bridge humbucker tone, it makes no sense for me to have a 5-way switch. So we got rid of the 5-way switch and replaced it with just a normal 3-way toggle where the tone knob originally was. And where the volume knob originally was, we put a stacked volume tone knob. So on the bottom taper, I have my volume control, and on the top taper, I have my tones control. And this layout for me completely frees up all of this area around the guitar, and it means I'm never going to accidentally hit the 5-way switch when I'm playing. Now, we could have kept the normal Perloy pickguard that came with the guitar, but I just had the idea to find a pickguard that would match the body of the guitar. It just so happened that the first thing that I searched and found on Amazon Prime was the exact perfect color. So I lucked out there as well. And then of course, Joseph did an amazing job of cutting the pickguard perfectly to match the old one, and also in a way that allows us to see the black in between the 3-ply pickguard. The last part of this mod was installing the tremolo in the back. And I have this installed because this is primarily going to be my metal guitar. And so when I'm not playing in standard E, I can easily drop tune or down tune the guitar because I can lock the bridge down like it is right now. And then if I do want to use the floating bridge, it's just literally one quick screw turn, and then it feels exactly like every other floating bridge. They make a few different versions of tremolos or bridge stabilizers, but what I found is that if you're using a floating bridge stabilizer, it kind of takes rid of that nice response that you get from the arm. It makes it less dynamic, if you will. And so, in my opinion, if you're going to stabilize the bridge, it defeats the purpose of having a floating bridge, at least for me personally. So with the tremolo, I set it to either completely fixed bridge, or I completely set it to floating, and then it feels like a normal, delicate floating bridge. Now you're probably wondering why I would go through all of this effort specifically to get a nice neck pickup tone when I'm saying that this guitar is primarily going to be my metal guitar, mostly on the bridge pickup. And that's a fair point. Here's the thing. Even though you see that I own a lot of guitars to review for YouTube, a lot of these guitars I have to review, I then have to send back to a company, or I buy them myself and then I sell them afterward after I do the review. And a lot of times I don't intend for them to be, again, one of my primary guitars. The Bossy Concepts ME6 is one of my primary guitars, along with the Carvin Allen Holdsworth signature model. And whenever there's a guitar in my collection, especially if I spent a lot of money for it, it can't just be a one-trick pony. And so if one day I don't feel like picking up a different guitar, I just want to play this guitar and practice all my jazz stuff, all my blues stuff, and all my metal stuff, I can do it all with just this one guitar. And if you're someone like me who likes a lot of different styles of music, you know, you need a metal tone, a jazz tone, a blues tone, because you like all of these genres, you're gonna wanna check out my course, link below. Thank you again to PRS, and thank you again to Joseph McCoy for doing this mod, and I'll talk to you soon. So after all of that, you're probably wondering if I now think this guitar is perfect. It's really, really close. If this was somehow chambered, and it had an F-hole, then it would be perfect.